welcome to MeowMix, the Carolina Panthers podcast. My name is Steven.
My name is Jerry.
And if you can't tell by the tone of Jerry's voice, we actually get to talk about a Panthers win for once.
Woo! So I am now going to pick the Panthers to lose every week. The one time I picked them to lose, they came out and looked pretty good. Sweet Caroline. Good. Yeah. There's a lot to look forward to. I mean, they finally ran the ball instead of giving up on it in 3 downs. Like, it was nice.
And boy, did they run the ball. 47 rushes for the Panthers today.
Yes.
And still 25 passes. So it's not like they just, didn't throw the ball at all.
That's the beauty of ball control.
We've seen the Panthers do in the past. Yeah, exactly.
That's the beauty of ball control offense, and that's what they did. Yeah, like I told Steven before, my wife and I used to have a thing before we started recording that we used to take a shot every touchdown. Well, we haven't been doing that because I've been recording, and after this game, we just took a few just to have some fun.
Yeah. Not the most dominant performance I've ever seen from the Panthers, but defensively, this was very, very good.
Absolutely.
They kind of got back to the way they were looking at the first of the year. They got healthy on defense finally. Yeah. I mean, Shaq coming back and then Gilmore immediately makes his impact felt.
Both came back and made an impact this week. So
Brian Burns, I don't know what's going on with that guy, but he
got a sack today.
He got half a sack, and he got, which I think they should have given full sack to Luvu, but he got 2 15-yard roughing the passer penalties.
Okay, first of all, these refs were goddamn awful. They were awful.
Yeah, they were bad.
They were calling any ticky-tacky call on the Panthers, and then a defenseless receiver knocked Robbie Anderson out of the game for a little bit. No penalty.
Yeah, I didn't think that was a penalty.
Okay.
I thought he caught the ball, he was kind of bringing it down. I didn't think that was particularly a penalty.
What about third down and they literally hold Tommy Tremble and drag him to the ground in the end zone, and Sam Darnold throws the ball away because there's no one open because Tommy Tremble's on the ground being held. No penalty. And it was right in front of a ref. Sam Darnold rushes for a first down, slides, and gets hit in the helmet with a forearm. No penalty. Now, then when he gets hit, he slides. He gave himself up. You can't go for the head. He gave himself up,
but he didn't get hit in the head.
Yeah, he did. Watch it again. His elbow got him in the head.
It was in the shoulder. But either way, he shouldn't have gotten hit. It still should have been a penalty, whether it was a head or not.
But no penalty. And then the hit that he got that concussed him was a legal hit, and that Darnold should have slid.
Still, it was just so hard. It felt like it should have been a penalty because, No,
that was Sam, legal. I am arguing the other ones, but
let's talk about Sam. And really, I mean, where the Panthers go from here, because Sam, again, you look at his stats. 13 of 24. I mean, we're not getting into stats yet, but I just want to say 13 of 24, 129. But he had 8 rushes for 66 yards. They obviously told him, hey, you need to get back to running the ball. And he did. And unfortunately, he got hurt as a result. But I'm curious what the Panthers are going to do, because I have no faith that PJ can win games for the Panthers. He has not looked good anytime he has been in a game, in a real game.
Yeah.
He's looked okay in preseason. He has not looked good in real live games. And he almost threw an interception. Yeah. What was Joe Brady thinking? Sam Darnold goes out. PJ Walker comes in. He does this nice little pitch for the first play, which was fine. But then it's like second down. They're on like the 2-yard line. And PJ Walker decides to throw the ball. I mean, or Joe Brady decides to have him throw the ball. He throws a terrible pass into coverage. 3 Falcons get their hands on it. Luckily, none of them actually intercept the ball. But that was like, you're bringing a cold quarterback. You're on inside the 3-yard line. It was either the 1 or the 2, right in there. You don't just run the ball? What are you thinking?
And that play
made no sense.
That drive was a beautiful drive. That was like the drive of the game. It took like
I think they almost throwing the points.
10
The whole
more,
drive.
10 plays, all runs except for one great pass by Sam Darnold.
Very good pass, yeah.
It was just so boneheaded. That points to the fact that he just does not understand the NFL. It just, you can't do that.
I know what he was thinking.
The coverage is too tight. The players are too smart for that.
Yeah. And he threw it to Kirkwood, by the way, who I don't think had been in the game until that point either. I know what he was thinking. He was thinking, they're never going to expect this. Don't get too cute. What you were doing is working. And then, the next play, Chuba Hubbard runs it in. They should have just done that.
Absolutely.
But, all right, well, let's get into our key plays here. We got 3 or 4 of them today. So first key play, we're going to talk about 2nd and 8 on the Carolina 24. Carolina down 10-6 at this point in the second quarter, about 3 minutes left. The Falcons are driving. Matt Ryan throws a short middle pass intended for Hayden Hurst. Shaq Thompson diagnosed it the whole way, jumped the route, got a nice interception, returns it back for 6 yards or so. But this is all on Carolina's side of the field. And that really could have broken the game open had the Falcons even gotten a field goal there. That puts them up by a full touchdown. So really nice play by Shaq Thompson.
Yeah, I agree. That was such a huge play because it was a momentum shift slightly. Mm-hmm. I mean, the Panthers did nothing with it. The offense, again, struggled this week, but a little bit better. But, I mean, they were right there, Carolina 24. Even if they don't make it in the end zone, they go up 13-6. I mean, that's a huge deal.
Yeah, it was a big deal. Mm-hmm. And, the Falcons did not score the rest. Actually, the Falcons did not score until the very end of the game after that drive. So well done by the Panthers there. Next play.
Next play, 2nd and goal at Atlanta 6. Carolina up 13-10. Chuba Hubbard, left tackle for 6 yards, touchdown. I mean, this kind of sealed it pretty much. I mean,
it was up 19-10.
It was after a 7-minute drive starting the fourth quarter. I mean, it just bled the clock. You could tell how defeated the defense looked for Atlanta there. I mean, they were just like, when they thought they got that interception, which it was clearly incomplete. They ran it back. It was like posing for photos and everything else. I mean, they thought they just stole the game.
They were trying to sell it.
Yeah.
They were trying to sell it. But yeah, I mean, honestly, this, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, but that's what running the ball does for you. Mm-hmm. Even if, like early in the game, they're running, not piling up a ton of yards, not a great yards per carry average in the beginning of the game, but they kept at it. And a play like that, where you've got a cold quarterback in there, everybody in the stadium knows you're going to run it. They still are able to run it in for the touchdown because the defense is gassed. Yeah. Panthers held the ball on the whole game. I mean, it was a really nice job by the Panthers. Actually committing to the run when they said they were going to do it, and they actually did it. 30 more runs this week than they had last week when they said they were committing to the run. So nice job. All right, next play here, 1st and 10 on the Carolina 30. Again, this is Falcons driving right down the field. Matt Ryan trying to get it to Kyle Pitts and Stephon Gilmore. Great coverage. Able to pick the ball off pretty easily. Carolina 15, and that's pretty much your game right there.
Pretty much, yeah. There is one more that you did not list in our list, but I want to talk about. Because, yes, that Gilmore one was beautiful. That ended the game. It was sealed the deal. But 4th and 2 at Carolina 27-yard line, Koo missed a 45-yard field goal, which would have put Atlanta up 13-12. Yeah. And the way this game ended up, the Falcons could have kept hitting for the end zone in that late fourth quarter, but they just, with that one miss, kind of forced them to do what they did, is kick the early field goal instead of going for deep.
And it would have changed how the Panthers would have handled their last possession as well.
Correct.
Because if you're only up by one score at that point, you actually have to do something other than bleed the clock, right?
Yep.
Which would have put PJ in a position to try and go out and throw the ball, and who knows what would have happened. But that's a huge play, and I did forget to put that on the list. And then the final one here is really just Sam Darnold. The play that Sam Darnold got hurt.
Yeah.
And this is kind of where I wanted to talk about this. First of all, good game by Sam. He protected the ball. Several throws again that the players just dropped. A beautiful throw to the end zone in the first quarter for DJ. Had both hands on it, couldn't bring it in. But the only place Sam could have thrown that ball, it was a great throw.
No, it was a great throw. DJ just didn't contain it all the way through the catch. You have to maintain it to the end of the ground and everything else. He just couldn't do it. Because it used to be, I would say about 5 years ago, before they made that change, it would have been a touchdown because you wouldn't have to contain it through the ground.
Yeah,
but now
he had both feet in. I mean, it was. He did a good job with his feet, but he's got the whole team has got a case of the drops over the last several weeks. But hoping that can change. And Trimble had one. I think Anderson had one. Of course, the one that Anderson got just absolutely knocked the out.
Should have been a defenseless receiver.
Yeah, it's technically a drop. I think they'll call that a drop. But Robbie makes the big catch of the game on the outside kick. So his hands do work. Luckily. But where do the Panthers go from here with their quarterback? Because that was a hard hit, and I'm gonna have to assume that he's probably not gonna bounce right back and be available this week. I mean, typically it's at least a week with these concussions, the mild ones.
Yeah.
And it could be 2 or 3 weeks. It could be even longer. So the Panthers are going to have to sign a quarterback, even if it's just a 1 week miss. They're going to have to sign someone. I don't even think we have one on the practice squad. So
they're going to roll.
What do they do?
They
know what everyone's going to want. No, they're going to have to sign one, even if it's just for this week.
They're not going to sign Cam Newton. It's just not.
That's what people are going to ask. I'm just telling you. This is going to be the whole week. This is what we're going to hear from Panthers fans.
You may hear that, but it's not going to happen. I like Cam and everything. They're going to roll with PJ Walker. Last year when he started, he won the game, which
they shouldn't roll with PJ Walker. I'm going to say they should not roll with PJ.
Well, are you going to sign somebody and have somebody play this week?
I think if you,
it's too
honestly,
late.
I think they could sign Cam Newton and he could play. Honestly, if he's in shape, he knows.
He's in shape. I mean, Cam Newton.
Some of the team, some of the offense. He knows CMC, who could be back. He knows DJ Moore. I mean, he's got some timing down with those guys. Probably not realistic that you sign someone off the street and they play, but we've seen it happen. We've seen the Panthers do it before in the past.
Yeah.
I mean, with injuries and things. Yes, Matt Rule going to roll with PJ, right?
Yeah.
He because he's this Temple guy, he's going to do it. I don't think the Panthers can beat the Patriots with PJ Walker. I'll say that. They're going to have to sign somebody. The best available quarterback out there is Cam Newton.
I mean, yes, they're going to need to sign somebody, but you and the other fans are in La La Land. It's not going to happen.
I'm just saying, if you look at it logically, I have not wanted Cam. I've been very, 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 very adamant that Cam should not be coming back to this team at this time. If Sam is hurt and if Sam is going to miss multiple weeks and you still want to make the playoffs, he makes the most sense in terms of going out to sign. He is the best quarterback available on the free agent market, and he has some familiarity with the team, with the stadium. I mean, it's not insane. This is the only situation I think where it does make some sense.
It's not. I think you're putting something out there that has no chance of happening because
this is what Panthers fans are going to be begging for.
I wanted to talk about the win, but you're talking about Cam Newton. This is what it's going to do. As soon as Sam is clear, if Cam Newton wins against New England, everybody's going to be claiming, hey, should Cam Newton continue to start or should Sam Darnold? And you're going to continue that controversy. If they don't trade for Deshaun Watson by Tuesday, which it sounds like they're not because everything that came out today sounds like the conversation is dead in the water between the teams. Yeah. You're not going to do it. you're not going to bring in Cam Newton because then you're going to have that conversation. You're going to put that earworm in Sam Darnold's head when he had a really good game this week. After everything else, I think you just can't keep knocking him down.
He had a good game. I wouldn't say he had a really good game. He protected the football, which is certainly more than we can say he's done in the past few weeks.
I saw no
but
bad
he's still
passes.
Only 13 of 24. I mean, he still didn't make any great, deep passes. He didn't do anything. He took what the defense gave him, which is fine, which is what we want him to do, right? For Sam Darnold, it was a good game. Who else? But who are they going to bring in? They have to bring in somebody. PJ Walker can't be the only QB on the roster.
They're going to bring in some schlub that we're never going to know. He's going to stay on.
Why are you okay with that? Why are you happy with that?
Because that's what it's going to happen. Because we know it's going to happen. Sam Darnold doesn't need competition. He's fragile. I mean, I hate to say it. He's fragile.
Then why is he our quarterback for this?
I wish he wasn't, but he is.
Then you should be rooting for Cam to come in.
Cam's not the answer here long term.
Cam's not the answer long term, no. But if this offense takes off with a quarterback that is not Sam Darnold, that goes to your point. And it ain't going to take off with PJ Walker.
At least PJ Walker has a win for the Panthers recently.
Well, Cam Newton has a lot of wins for the Panthers.
Not recently.
Well, he hasn't been on the team, Jerry.
Exactly. So let's just move on. I mean, again, this is the first win in a month, and you keep wanting to talk Cam Newton.
I want to talk about the Panthers, Jerry. It's a legitimate conversation with Sam Darnold being potentially out for weeks. Do you want people to listen to this or not? Go ahead and talk about the win. Go ahead. What else we got?
Well, I think that running the ball, controlling the ball, great defense can give a PJ Walker a chance to win the game. Yes, he is not ready to beat the gunslinger that they tried to force Sam Darnold into in weeks 4 through 7. He's not that guy. He's not going to throw 300 yards. You're going to need to run some read options with him like he did. Granted, he did that stupid mistake, and you're just going to have to control the game against New England. New England's not a great team. Mac Jones can make mistakes with this defense pressuring him, and Stephon Gilmore, Dante Jackson, AJ Boye out there. Shaq Thompson has come back and looked really good. I mean, you're asking to bring a guy off the street who doesn't know this offense to play this week.
I'm not asking it. I'm just telling you that I think it makes the most sense.
Okay. Especially
if you're going to go run heavy, because that Cam Newton gives you another option at the run game, a very high quality option at the run game. That's all I'm saying. It makes the most sense. All right, you want to get into some stats here?
Yeah.
All right, let's look at, obviously we'll go with Panthers first. I just mentioned Darnold, 13 of 24, 129, no touchdowns, no interceptions, and was not sacked. So yeah. I thought the offensive line did a really, really nice job today. Again, it goes back to running the ball.
Yep. And they ran it a lot. They ran it a lot on first down. And then when they did play action on first down, the defense bought in. I remember one first down in particular that I was thinking in my head in the first or second quarter. I can't remember. But it was a play action, and it was a nice little 15-yard dump-off pass, and it was just great because the defense bought in. There was a wide-open spot in the middle of the field, and I think it was Trimble who caught the pass. So.
Yeah. Being able to run the ball effectively solves a lot of problems.
Yeah.
And it definitely helped with the pass blocking today. Chuba, 24 carries, 82 yards, 1 touchdown, only averaged 3.4 yards per carry. But like we said, honestly, don't even look at that average, because in the second half, it was probably more like 5 or 6 yards per carry. Mm-hmm. He did a really nice job. Sam, 8 for 66. Amir Abdullah, 8 for 31. And had some really nice catches. Amir Abdullah also 3 for 35 in the air. It was nice to see him involved.
Yeah, I really like that. I like the way they kept changing the running back, keep them fresh. And Amir Abdullah, we didn't talk about it in the pregame. I didn't think he was going to
Mm-hmm.
come into this, but I really like the way they used him. I really like the way they kept the running backs fresh, kept pounding the ball, keep tiring out that defense. Royce Freeman had 6 carries too. I mean, they were they were really nicely running. And when Christian McCaffrey comes back, I hope they continue to use a platoon of running backs. I mean, Chuba still got 24 carries, so it's not like he was underutilized.
Yeah, Chuba still at 24 carries, also had 1 reception for 9 yards, so 25 touches for Chuba. Did have, we got to talk about the very first play of the game where Chuba coughs it up. And I know I was thinking, and I'm sure you were thinking, like, oh my God, here we go again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can we have anything nice? But from that point on, mistake free.
Yeah.
For all the Panthers.
My nephew literally texted me after that first game. He goes, "Yep, I'm not watching this game." I mean, he was just like, too many heartbreaks this year.
Yeah, that was a tough way to start. But the Panthers defense held strong there, only gave up the field goal, and off we went. So in terms of receiving, not a ton to talk about here. DJ 4 for 59 on 8 targets.
Mm-hmm.
Again, had the big drop. Could have had a much nicer day. Amir Abdullah 3 for 35. Tommy Tremble 3 for 18. Ian Thomas 1 for 10. There was a point in this game where the only receptions were from the tight ends.
Yeah.
Where Tremble had 2 and Ian Thomas had 1. And I was like, well, this is interesting. Like, obviously they made a very, very concerted effort to give Sam safety nets and just, he didn't have the opportunity really to make a mistake. Yeah.
Yeah, and he had another really nice pass to Trimble that he dropped. That would have been a 20-yard gainer. I mean, he dropped it in there. Again, no bad throws from Sam Darnold I saw this week. So
yeah. Robbie Anderson only 1 target, and that was the one where he got rocked. And that obviously would have been a nice catch for him. He had it, just got destroyed. But, interesting that they obviously DJ Moore still had 8 targets. So some wide receiver was still involved in the passing game, but Robbie Anderson was not.
No. And I as sad as this is, I think that's best. When Terrace Marshall
they won the game.
Yeah, I think when Terrace Marshall gets back, I would go ahead and put him in the starting lineup and see if Robbie Anderson responds to that type of demotion. Because he is not showing out. I'm not knocking him on that drop pass. I mean, that's a drop that 99% of the players drop that.
Just a really good defensive play there. Yep. Shaq Thompson leads the team in tackles with 10. I'm curious to see the snap counts because we were told that he was not going to play, a full complement of snaps, that he was going to be limited. So I'm curious to see when the snap counts come out, just how much he was on the field, because it seemed like when he was on there, he was making an impact pretty much every time. He played some really good defense on Mike Davis, got shelled by Mike Davis on one run play.
Oh, that was brutal.
And then like every time Shaq had an option, he put a hard hit on Mike Davis after that every single time. So that was nice to see.
He wanted to let Mike Davis know that he felt it and he wanted him to feel it next time.
That's right. Hassan Reddick had another sack. He's up to 7 now, I think. 7.5 maybe.
Yeah. Hassan Reddick, great year so far. Congratulations.
Yeah, he proved that last year wasn't a fluke. So really nice. Utor gets into the sack game, has a nice sack, and that was towards the end of the game. So
huge sack because that was on that third down that the Falcons had enough time to get really 2 solid drives in. And if he doesn't get that sack, if they get that first down, you never know how this game's going to go out. But that sack was huge. Yeah,
big play. And then Luvu and Burns combined for a sack. Luvu had him down. Brian Burns came in and cleaned it up. So not, I don't know. I thought they should have given that one to Luvu. Luvu had a really nice game too. Had a couple of really nice plays.
Yeah, you missed the play that Luvu completely blanked on a player, and the player ended up getting up first down. So moving on, we're going to talk about Brian Burns. He had 3 total tackles and that half sack. He had 1 QB hit and a couple penalties against him. I personally thought one of them was kind of. I felt like this whole game was really kind of very ticky tacky against the Panthers on the refs. Like one, he like swiped at the arm and he gets a flag. The other one, he's like chasing him, tries to tackle him, and he gets kind of low, so they flag him again.
Yeah, I mean, like by the rule book, both of them were roughing the passers, but they were like the lightest touch roughing the passers that you're going to get.
And again,
so I do wish they would update those rules, but
But they weren't calling them for us. That was my biggest problem, is the refs weren't calling it the same way on both sides, because there was multiple times where they would get to Darnold a little late, or again, that I call it a forearm, you didn't, but he was sliding. They didn't call it.
Well, it was a forearm. It just wasn't to the helmet, from what I saw.
I thought it hit his helmet.
It still was a late hit, and he was sliding. So I think it still should have been a flag.
They were calling it really tight on the Panthers and not on the Falcons.
Yeah, well, yeah, home game for the Falcons. They got that home cooking for sure. Shaq Thompson and Stephon Gilmore get interceptions. We kind of mentioned those already, but both of them big interceptions at big times of the game. So game-changing interceptions from both those guys. And it's funny that both of them come in. We've been waiting on Shaq to get back. We've been waiting on Gilmore, since he got here to play. Both of them come in. Both of them have really nice games for their first game. So really,
and it wasn't Jeremy Chin shadowing Kyle Pitts. It was mostly Gilmore.
We're going to talk about Kyle Pitts here in a minute. Zane Gonzalez had a great game, 4 for 4 on field goals, hit his extra point. Nice long field goal for him. 57
yards. This is not a sarcastic clapping.
No, we found a kicker.
Yeah.
I mean, he and by the way, his leg is just fine.
Yeah.
It's perfectly long enough. So nice job. And then I thought our punter was fine as well, Lachlan Edwards. Average of 43.8. That's fine. That'll do it. No problems there. All right. We'll go here real quick through the Falcons. Matt Ryan had a rough game, 20 of 27, 146, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. I wonder how much of that is due to, having basically one hand taken out of commission by getting it stepped on. Yeah, it was in the second quarter, I think. Bleeding all over the place. Pretty gnarly.
It was fine. He taped it out. I'm sure it's gonna sting, but it didn't affect his passes or anything. Granted, one of his interception was when he had it, so maybe some blood got on the ball and slipped out of his hand. I don't know.
Who knows? All that. Yeah, I know that hurt.
Oh yeah, it hurt.
It's gonna be in his head. I mean, he has been looking really good. This game he was not. So good. Kudos to the Panthers for really a nice game plan by Phil Snow, and then well executed by the players. Mike Davis, 9 for 44. Mike Davis ran the ball well, just didn't get a lot of opportunities. Cordell Patterson, 9 of 35, and then Matt Ryan, a couple of runs there. So only 20 rushes for the Falcons for 82 yards. Only 47 plays for the Falcons.
Yeah. And we had 47 rushes. I mean, that was beautiful ball control. It was first down. I mean, third down. Another thing I really liked is the third down conversion this week. I mean, it was just, at first they were third and longs, and then slowly it became third and shorts, third and short, third and 2, third and 1. And they were picking them up nicely. I really like this game plan. It really benefited this team and helped Sam Darnold keep the ball in front of him.
Yeah, 10 of 17 on third downs. That's a lot of third downs. 17 third downs. Falcons were 3 of 10. Tajay Sharp. Now, Calvin Ridley missed this game. Obviously, when we did our pre-game, he was still slated to play. But Calvin Ridley did not play in this game. He
personal issues.
Yeah, he has some sort of mental issues with him. He put a statement out during the game, basically saying that he needed to step away, needed some time to, reflect and mental health time, essentially.
Hey, get well, Calvin Ridley. I really like you as a player. You seem like a decent dude. I mean, you never know what's going on personally. So
good player, and really, honestly, it benefited the Panthers for him not to be in there. Cordell Patterson, 5 for 37 receiving. He's that multi-threat. Did catch the touchdown, so Jerry got some fantasy points there. Mike Davis also 5 catches for 22 yards. We know Mike Davis can catch the ball out of the backfield. Kyle Pitts 2 of 13 on 6 targets. Mm-hmm. So here's where the Panthers won the game. I think they focused a lot on Kyle Pitts. I mean, the announcers kept calling him out. They were putting corners on Kyle Pitts. Mm-hmm. They were not covering him with linebackers or safeties. They treated him like a wide receiver, like a star wide receiver, essentially. They put the first play of the game, or first time that Kyle Pitts got the ball thrown to him, he had Bouye and Dante Jackson doubling him, essentially, both of them on him.
I thought it was
Bouye had a really nice breakup. No.
It wasn't?
It was Bouye and Dante over the top.
Yeah.
But that was all game long, you know, and then the Gilmore several times was on him.
On that pick, he was covering Kyle Pitts.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It goes back to what, when the Panthers only had Steve Smith, when you kept targeting only that wide receiver, eventually teams will cover that guy. I mean, Calvin Ridley out really helped, like you said earlier, but they're only really targeting Kyle Pitts in the first 3 quarters, and the Panthers were like, no, you're not. That's why Cordell Patterson and Mike Davis had so many receptions, because they were checking it down. Finally, they started going to Tajay Sharp afterwards. We're like, all right, they're just not giving anything up to Pitts.
Yeah. Really nice. Well played by the Panthers there. Mm-hmm. And we sort of, I sent you, I was joking. I sent you some Facebook messages the other night, and I was like, I think that they should put Stephon Gilmore on Kyle Pitts the whole game, and then like double him with Dante Jackson, and then put, AJ Bouye on him also. And, just sort of running down the list of all our defenders. Joking, and you told me I was insane, but they sort of did that. Like they really put their best defenders on Kyle Pitts.
And I also didn't know Calvin Ridley was a good play, because that could free out
neither one
Calvin
of us
Ridley.
knew that. Yeah.
So I like the game plan defensively of covering up Kyle Pitts. I'm assuming they would have covered up Calvin Ridley, but he hasn't had the greatest year either. So I mean, you're talking about Matt Ryan, who's averaging 300+ yards per game, shut down to 146 yards and 2 interceptions that were defensive schemed and great defensive plays. I mean, he had a good percentage, but he only averaged 5 yards per completion.
Yeah, it was a great game plan by the Panthers. They really they knew exactly what they wanted to do, and then they were able to execute. So. Just real quick on the Falcons defense here. No sacks for the Falcons, as we discussed. Alukun, 16 tackles, and Deion Jones, 14 tackles. So, well done there. Of course, the Panthers were out there a lot on offense. 72 offensive plays for the Panthers.
Good. That's a way to wear down a defense, especially considering we only had 3 defensive tackles this week. So.
Yeah, exactly. And, 47 rushes, and they only had 1 rushing touchdown. So that's 46 tackles on rushes, by itself. So there are a lot of tackling opportunities out there for the Falcons. But, Koo with the big missed field goal that you mentioned earlier. And that's pretty much in terms of the stats. So just a good, well-rounded game from the Panthers, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I could say is, get in the end zone more. I mean, there was a couple trips down and we settled for field goals, which hats off to Zane Gonzalez again. I mean, great job, but you need to get in the end zone a little bit more. Yeah. Luckily, the one that really mattered, Chuba, got it in.
Yep. Yeah, nice. All 3 phases played well today. It did what they wanted to do, right? The game plan was executed almost to perfection in this game. So nice job. All right. Anything else, Jerry?
No, that's pretty much it.
All right.
All right. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at our beer bet of the week, which I kind of lost. I said under 100 yards and Matt Ryan threw 146. Oh, wait, you meant Kyle Pitts.
It was Kyle Pitts. Yeah.
Kyle Pitts. No, he didn't come close.
Yeah. No, he did not.
No, he didn't sniff it.
Yep. It was, like I said, well done. Yeah, Jerry, you finally win a beer bet of the week. So congratulations. This was a nice one to win.
I think this is the second.
Yeah, we thought that if you won this one, that it was a really good thing for the Panthers, and yeah, it turned out to be. So my bold prediction was that Kyle Pitts would have under 70 yards, I think. So
yeah, but by the way, I meant to call you out that he's only gone over twice in 7 games. So
yeah, but the last 2 games he had like 300 something yards total. So I felt like that was decent. I could have gone under 50 and still would have got. I could have gone under 20, I guess, and still could have gotten it. So that would have been more bold.
That would have been definitely more bold. My bold prediction was Chuba 125. He got 82, but the Panthers as a team got 203. So even though I didn't get a bold prediction win, but I got a win in my heart, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we didn't know that they were going to rotate running backs in so much. I mean, or that Sam was going to run the ball as much as he did.
Mm-hmm.
So, spirit. You win the spirit of the prediction there, but just not quite the letter of it. So heroes and zeros. Let's. Do you want to bypass zeros for this game?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's bypass zeros.
I only have a couple zero like plays, but nothing dramatic.
Zero players.
Yeah.
Everybody played well today. All right, heroes. I'll let you go first.
Oh man, I have so many heroes listed in my head, but I'm gonna go Shaq Thompson. Just because he came back, he really kind of lit a fire under that defense. Had that big interception, had a couple a pass deflection, 10 tackles. Just he really kind of lit the fire. And not only that, when Gilmore had that interception, if you look, he's right there with them, like patting him on the head. And I think he is the leader of the defense.
Oh yeah, he surely is, and he's finally the guy that we hoped he would be. Right, he's finally turned into that player that deserves that big contract that he has. So great job there. I'm going to go with Gilmore. I thought that he certainly helped shut down Pitts, which was a big key to the game, and then got the big interception at the very end there. Just kind of coming in off the street, not off the street, but off the pup list for 7 weeks, first game action, making such big contributions. He's everything that was advertised that, we could hope to get. And he's going to be he feels such a big role on this team now. If he's able to kind of get up to speed and play, 80, 90% of the snaps, it's such a boon to that defense. So, I was thinking about Joe Brady for sticking to the run, but that PJ throw,
that was so stupid.
Took him out of the running. Just took him out of the running.
I do want to give another hero. I know we usually only give one, but we're not doing zeros. Zane Gonzalez. You hit a 57-yarder, a career long, got it square, got the distance. I mean, and honestly, if you don't hit that, this game's a different game because they don't kick that field goal. They start trying to go for the end zone there to win. So
Zane accounted for 13 of our 19 points.
So I want to go ahead and cheat and give 2 out this week.
No, I'll never be mad at you giving a kicker our hero because I think that might be the first time you've ever done it. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it, Jerry.
Yep. We want to thank everyone for listening. If you like the show, please let your friends know. Please follow us on Twitter at MeowMix Podcast. If you have any questions or comments, you can email us at mailbag@meowmixpodcast.com. If you leave us a 5-star review with a comment on Apple Podcasts, we'll read it on the show. Please like and subscribe on YouTube.
And we'll be back sometime probably early next week when the Panthers sign Cam Newton. We'll have our emergency podcast there. That was for you, Jerry. We will definitely be back on Friday to preview Panthers Patriots. Should be an interesting game. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, next Sunday it'll be a late podcast or a Stephen only podcast because I will be going. Yes, I'm going to the game.
Nice.
PJ Walker time.
Yeah, I guess. All right. Well, until then, everyone stay safe out there. Happy Halloween and keep pounding.